A very warm welcome back to the latest aviation news updates for today. There's a carrier that has entered into bankruptcy protection, Airbus A330 News, with a new operator set to fly the aircraft by the end of this year. British Airways updates and also focus on WestJet, beginning off with none other than British Airways. Following a new announcement, the airline will boost its service to San Diego from 2024 onwards. The British carrier says it'll add a second daily flight between London Heathrow and San Diego from April 20th, 2024. The second daily service will act as BA 264 and 265, arriving into San Diego at 3:25 p.m. before departing under 2 hours later for London once more. San Diego has remained a pretty essential part of British Airways' American network, and by adding a second daily service set to be operated by, in case you were curious, the 777-200, its capacity and presence will only grow. BA 264-265 will complement the already existing BA 272-273, which is operated by a smaller 7878 Dreamliner, which has been retimed to enhance the changes and allow for maximum connectivity and travel flexibility for customers that will now see a double daily service. Leisure and business travelers per the San Diego County Regional Airport Authority, President and CEO, are said to be benefiting from the added opportunity to explore London and beyond. Meanwhile, San Diego will welcome a host of new travelers with the addition of a second daily service. Not only is it fantastic to see British Airways increase their presence in San Diego, but naturally continue the restoration and growth of the US network following the effects of the global pandemic. Moving along and staying within North America to another route expansion, and that is with WestJet, who plan to boost transborder services to Las Vegas from 2024. Victoria and Las Vegas will be connected with a twice-weekly connection commencing on the 1st February 2024. Ultimately, the service is technically a resumption, as this is a reintroduction of a route that hasn't been operational since 2017. Per Cirium, WestJet has 107 aircraft in service, with its mainline operation really being propelled by the 737 series. Now, this includes your much newer 737 MAX and also the older 737 NGs. The Victoria to Las Vegas service with WestJet is slated to operate on Thursdays and Sundays, with the outbound and inbound flights taking place the same day after a layover. Onto some more challenging news within our industry, and that is iAero Airways has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in Florida. Per the latest fleet data from Cirium, iAero Airways has a fleet of 44 aircraft, with 39 of them in service. 45% of its fleet averages over 30 years, with actually only one plane under 18 years. Its most significant fleet type is the 737-400, with 15 units in service. iAero Airways is probably to you maybe more commonly known as Swift Air, which was established in 1997. However, in 2019, Swift Air became no more, at least regarding its visible naming, as iAero purchased the company and rebranded it to, as it is known today, iAero Airways. Filing for bankruptcy protection is part of what iAero describes as an essential process in this transformational program to emerge in the best possible manner. Filing for bankruptcy protection is often a means many struggling companies will enter to transform the business and emerge in a manner to become more successful. However, it doesn't always act as a means to, say, better the company, as critical decisions still need to be made correctly to ensure the long-term survival. Whether it is a reduction in staff, a reduction in services, or fleet, changes have to be made to see costs come down and the business emerge in a more profitable manner. iAero further notes that while productive new business opportunities have already been secured, they've really been left with unprecedented pressures felt within the aviation industry, meaning they've struggled to perform to the level they would ideally wish. And I think it goes without saying that they're probably not the only company within the industry that is feeling something very similar. We've seen countless airlines enter bankruptcy protection in recent years and even go as far as collapsing period, and these same companies have cited the unfavorable business climate for their downfall. The company, it is worth noting, doesn't view entering bankruptcy protection as a necessarily bad thing. Instead, it is a chance for the company to work towards a better future and certainly address specific legacy contracts and liabilities that it does hold. We'll have to wait and see how it does fare over the time that it is in Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, and if it can actually emerge in a more solid state. We'll certainly be thinking of them and take a look when the time comes at how they're tracking. Amazingly, there will be a new Airbus A330 operator later this year, and no, I'm not referencing the A330neo, rather the A330ceo, with Romanian carrier HiSky acquiring a single unit through a new lease agreement from the Air Lease Corporation. It'll now be able to launch wide-body operations, a decision that HiSky labels as historic for the Romanian aviation sector. By the end of this year, the single A330-200 will arrive and see a flight range of over 13,400 kilometers, which is obviously a great opportunity with many possibilities now for long-haul flights. The addition of the A330 means it is its 8th aircraft to enter the airline's fleet, with 7 Airbus planes already in operation, including 2 new A321neos that were only recently delivered and have been hugely important to the long-term efficiency and connectivity goals. Ultimately, the routes for this A330-200 are yet to be announced. However, the airline will be able to reach a host of locations globally, with HiSky revealing that flights as far as Asia, the Middle East, and Americas will be possible, opening up a host of opportunities for Romania. And they're very excited about all of this. On to the final story of today, and it's not related to an airline, aircraft, or aviation company, rather an airport. Singapore Changi wants to break boundaries by implementing passport-free travel as early as 2024. According to CNN, the airport wants to rely solely on biometric data, which would remove the element of passports in what can only be described as a massive move towards automated immigration clearance. Through the continued growth of biometric technology, including all-important facial recognition, the firm belief is that Singapore Changi can be taken to the next level, growing its reputation as already a leading airport in aviation. Processing is always one of the slowest elements of traveling, many would argue, ignoring the actual flight, and Changi wants to remove this. If the move would be pulled off, it would definitely remove the need for documentation. However, if Changi were the only airport initially to move towards no passport travel, question marks would remain about whether other locations would soon follow, and how quickly. If, say, Changi implemented the switch by 2024, but others followed years later, it would present challenges for travelers headed elsewhere. Through the changes, biometrics will create what is described as a single token of authentication that would be employed at various touch points. This could include, but not limited to, immigration clearance, boarding, and as far as bag drops. As technology only advances, the aviation industry is right on hand to find ways to implement this to improve overall experience, whether it be in the airport, for customers, to speed up processes, and much more. While Singapore Changi, following this report, will look to lead the way in this scene, other airports and countries are already exploring what biometrics can offer them in making the travel experience more seamless. That's going to conclude today's aviation news recap. Again, I can only thank you so much for your support here on the channel. It really does mean a lot. Take care and be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow at the exact same time for more recap on the aviation industry. And we'll fly.